Minecraft is a game I feel weird about. It's a topic I've been already talking about on this channel for a while because I know my opinion on it will be heavily disagreed with. But I feel like I can speak on this because Minecraft is an extremely personal game to me. I grew up with the game essentially. It was pretty much one of the only games I played when I was younger. I met some really cool people because of it. YouTubers like Stampy or DenTDM were a drug to me. However, as I grew up, I kind of just stopped enjoying Minecraft like I used to. Okay, let me specify. I stopped enjoying the survival aspect of Minecraft. Creative is still fun to me though. But that's not the point of today's video. Today's video is that I think I've realized why I fell out of it. And I want to explain. It is November 18th, 2011. A new game just released with the title of Minecraft. You hop on, load it up, and start a new survival world. After maybe a few days of playing, you eventually have some diamond tools. But you're mainly equipped in iron, and are about to face the Ender Dragon. You take out his methods of healing and defeat him. You grab the egg and go through the portal where the credits begin to roll. You are proud and full of joy for taking down such a large foe for the first time. It is November 18th, 2022. It has now been 11 years since the full release of Minecraft. You hop on, load it up, and start a new survival world. After maybe a few hours of playing, you eventually have diamond tools and some iron. You're about to face the Ender Dragon. You take out his methods of healing and defeat him. You grab the egg and go through the portal where the credits begin to roll. You feel nothing? You're happy to have gotten it over with, and you move on to the next thing. Notice the problem? Sure, you could argue that you've just gotten better, but in reality the Ender Dragon was never hard to begin with. You just need to know what to do, which at the time you didn't. Overall, nothing really changes. Upon refighting the Ender Dragon, you don't feel accomplished for this. You don't feel accomplished for defeating the objective final boss, because you've done it so many times. The challenge hasn't gotten harder, it's gotten easier, and it gets worse due to the release of things such as Netherite. But you don't need that to defeat the dragon. You could defeat it in full iron, hell, even no armor if you really wanted to. Everything Mojang adds to the game doesn't add anything to the overall experience. There's nothing really to accomplish. You could argue that, well, the point of the game is to let your imagination run free or whatever, but here's the thing. If I wanted to do that, I'd just go play creative. I want to play survival to, survive, and to have a challenging experience that puts my knowledge of the game to the test. But the fact that I can sweep through most of, if not all of the game, in a single day just kinda sucks. And to be honest, the game never really develops its main gimmick in the best ways. The boss fights just come down to ordinary combat, which in this game is swinging your sword until the boss dies. I know the Witherstorm is a highly suggested boss, and to be honest, I'd love to see that as well. You'd have to come up with new ways to fight it, instead of just hitting it a billion times until it dies. Imagine a boss which requires you to use redstone to come up with ways to fight it, or even a simpler boss which requires you to just build stuff to tackle it. Like for example, one that requires you to lead it into a cage to trap it, so you can deal some big hits on it. A boss that needs you to use slime blocks or ender pearls to get to it. I could go on and on with ideas. For a game that wants you to use your imagination to its fullest, it doesn't really encourage that at all. The combat is basic and boring, and what's funny is that they can spice it up. On the Bedrock Edition, they have fuck tons of mashup packs like Ben 10, which gives you a literal Omnitrix and you can transform into any of the aliens from the 2016 reboot, each with their own special and unique abilities. Or The Incredibles, which gives you the powers of Pixar's most iconic family. And moving on, why would I want to build anything in survival other than a house and a farm, when anything else just won't really help me? Like, yeah, it'd be cool to have a town or something, but in that case, I'll just find a village and expand that instead. Not to mention, the villages are also kinda useless. Tell me how many times you've gone to a village, raided the blacksmith and farm, and then left. In a world with so much to do, nothing feels like it matters. I don't feel good for expanding my home and creating a town, because in the long run it won't help me. I have to go steal villages from villages just to have my town feel somewhat lively. Even then, the villages are just kinda there, like, eventually I can get to a point where I just don't need them. They have no side quests or anything like that. What's the point in going out of my way to village hunt and take these villages from their villages when I realistically only need 1 or 2. Imagine if you built up a town, and as you did, more villagers would turn up. You'd get more rewards such as food or weapons, side quests, stuff that will actually aid you in being unstoppable. You could create work which you could help out with, which in turn would provide you with emeralds, which is basic money. It gives you incentive to build up your city and truly make this your world, while also in turn providing more rewards and stuff to people who are more combat focused. In current survival, you don't get any of this. Once you beat the Ender Dragon, there's nothing really to do. Playing with friends and family kinda helps this though. Multiplayer definitely makes the game a lot more fun, but it still ends up with the same result. I've had so many maps where we've loaded up a new world, played for a day or two, beat the Ender Dragon, and then dropped it after maybe 2 weeks or a month. And yeah, you could mod the game, which definitely helps, but mods should never be required to have a fun experience. Mods should always just be an extra add-on to an already fun game. I shouldn't need to have mods just to enjoy myself. The game should just be fun from the moment I start it up. If I need mods to enjoy myself, is the game really that good? And the worst part of all of this is the lack of worth it updates. We get 1 update per year in which they add a bunch of new shit which just doesn't matter or add anything to the overall experience, or it's just a reskin of something already existing. The new biome, which is a cherry biome, is just a reskin of the normal oak biome. What is the point? Why add this stuff if you aren't going to develop your ideas properly? Why should I bother getting something like Netherite when all I really need to take down the Ender Dragon, or really just any of the bosses, is some iron armor and maybe 1 or 2 diamond tools? Or even just a bow and arrow? And keep in mind, if you have some basic knowledge of the game, finding iron and diamond is the easiest thing in the world. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up. My point is, in conclusion, Minecraft is an okay game, but the way it's being and will likely continue to be handled is just really disappointing. In a game where you are meant to use your imagination to its fullest, there's nothing to push you to do that. The combat is alright at best, and nothing the game does truly takes a hold of the game's main gimmick. If you want to have fun, you have to mod it, or you have to create a server and get a ton of friends on. A vanilla experience by yourself just will end up with you leaving the game. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.